says Foster's Flood Repair charges $53 for a damage estimate and then $13.50 per hour to clean up after flood damage. Which equation represents the relationship between the number of hours H and the total cost C? So first we're picking the correct equation. So they're going to get charged $53 no matter what, right? Are they getting charged $53 per hour? No. So we can eliminate these two because they say 53 per hour or 53H. Okay? And then on top of that, they also have to pay $13.50 per hour. So which one of these shows $13.50 per hour? B. So the cost equals $53 plus $13.50 per hour. Now remember, my X is like independent, and Y works as the dependent. So is the H or the C where my X normally is? H. So that means my independent is
hours.
Good. Which means my dependent is
Total cost.
right. Alright. Okay, number 2 gives us another scenario. It says the junior class is selling $20 prom tickets. The money raised will be given to the DJ for his services. Which best describes the dependent quantity in this situation? So dependent, that's like my Y, right? Whatever the dependent is cannot happen without X. Okay. So it says the number of tickets sold is dependent on the amount the DJ will earn. Is that true? No. The tickets that they sell are the tickets that they sell, so it can't be that one. The price of each ticket depends on the number of tickets sold. No. They're $20 no matter what. The amount the DJ earns is dependent on the number of tickets sold. Yes, that's it. Good job.
I got that right.
Good.
True story.
Okay. So similar to what we were doing yesterday, I'm giving you pictures of a graph and we're going to analyze the information given. So it says that this graph here shows the daily high temperatures over the first 9 days of August. So the day in August here, temperature over here. Okay. So first it says to write the ordered pair in words. So is the dates in August my X or my Y value? X. Which means the temperature is Y, right? So if I'm going to write that as an ordered pair, we normally write an ordered pair X, Y. So if I put my words in, it's going to be dates in August. And then temperature. Okay, so which one of these is the independent?
X.
X, which is what?
Dates in August.
Good. Okay, which means my dependent is very good. Okay, then it says, does this represent a function, yes or no? Yes, we can do our vertical line test, right? Going across here, there's never anywhere it's going to touch twice. Good job. Okay, so what is the temperature on August 8th? 70 degrees. So 70 degrees Fahrenheit. When is the temperature 85 degrees?
7.
The 7th. When else?
Third.
The 3rd. So I would say the 3rd and 7th. Okay? It says between which two dates does the temperature increase by the greatest number of degrees? So where does it go up the most? Between 8 and 9. It goes up a whole lot. It goes from 70 up to 90, right? That's a 20-degree difference. We don't see that anywhere else on the graph. So the dates between August 8th and 9th. August 4th to what? That goes from 85 to 100. That's only a 15-degree difference. And this one is from 70 to 90, which is 20 degrees. That's right. Close, but not quite. All right, flip it over on the back. Okay. It says, as a part-time employee at Electronic Bionic, Anthony earns a weekly salary plus 2.5% commission on his total weekly sales. The graph below shows what Anthony's weekly earnings could be depending on his weekly sales. All right, so then it wants us to fill in what depends on what. So weekly sales is going to be my X, and X is the
weekly sales.
X is the independence. Okay. That would mean that my earnings is Y, which is dependent. So what words would I put in the blanks here? The what depends on what?
Weekly earnings and weekly sales.
Good. So weekly earnings depend on weekly sales. Okay. Then number 9 says find E of 800. Well, normally it would be an X in that parenthesis, right? Okay, so it wants to know what we get when X is 800.
270.
Very good. Oops. So I would have $270 in earnings. All right, then it wants us to find S when we get 280. So the sales when we get 280 in earnings. Good. Right here. All right. Then it says, does this relationship represent a function based on our definition? Yes. Passes the vertical line test. Okay. Next scenario says, when diving in the ocean, the relationship between the pressure of the water on the diver P and the depth of the diver D is described by the function P equals 1.47D plus 14.7. They want us to complete this table using our calculator. Okay, so they give us all the values for D, right? So all we have to do is plug them into the calculator to find them. Or we can use our function rule, right? So remember to do that, I just go into y equals, and I get to type in my rule. So in y equals, I would type in 1.47x plus 14.7. And then I just pull up the table, right? Okay, so the first value that I'm looking for is when x is 2, what is y? Good. So I'm going to fill that in here. Okay. What about when x is 4?
25.8.
Good. And when it's 6? 23.52. And when it's 8? Good. So again, you could do that each one individually, plug this number in for D, then this number, right, and so on, or you can pull up the table in our calculator. Yes. Okay. So you get to choose your pick. The calculator on ones like these might be a little bit quicker. Sometimes if it's just one, it's just as fast to type it in. It's just the one value. Okay. So then it wants us to write down the ordered pairs from the table. So remember, D is acting like our X, which means P is acting like our Y. So I'm just going to write them as coordinate points. So my first coordinate point would be 2, comma, 17.64. Okay, what would my next one be?
4, 20,
Good. And then
6, 6,
good. And then the last one,
26,
8 first, right?
8,
And then 26.46. Kind of ran out of room. Right here, 23. Okay. Then it says the blank depends on blank. Good. Very good. Oop, I don't know why I just put depends there. On deck. Which makes sense, right? The deeper I go, the more the pressure will be. Okay, then it says find the depth of the diver when the pressure is 36.75. So again, we could go back to our calculator, but remember this is a Y value, right? So you need to be looking for X when Y is this. Or we could, since it's just one value, plug it into the equation that they gave us. So they told us this is the pressure, so I would plug it in for P. So I'd have 36.75 equals 1.47 D plus 14.7. And then I just have to solve for D, right? If I was going to solve this equation, what would I need to do first? 14.7. Bless you. Okay, so I have 36.75 minus 14.7. What would that give me? Mm-hmm. 22.05. Okay, and then my last step to get D by itself would be to, very good. So I have to divide both sides by 1.47, and I end up with D equals, so that means he must have been at a depth of 15 meters. All right. Okay, last two. Number 16 says to find the value of P of 12. So that means instead of D, I'm supposed to plug in 12. So I'll just have 1.47 instead of D times 12 plus 14.7. And I could type that just as it is in my calculator, right? So I have 1.47 times 12 plus 14.7. What does that give me? What do I get when I type this in? Good. Alright, and then lastly, what does the ordered pair 100 and 161.7 mean? So the 100 is the X value, and what is X really for us in this situation? The depth in meters, right? So at a depth of 100 meters, and then the 161 is acting like our Y, which is pressure. So we would say the pressure